The silence in the house was never truly silent. It was merely a veil covering the whispers of those who refused to leave. Today, we tear back that veil. We are diving into the first phase of chilling descent, the discovery phase. This was the moment everything changed. What began as simple curiosity slowly transformed into something far darker. Within dust-covered journals, forgotten recordings, and haunting photographs uncovered by Carlos, fragments of an impossible reality began to emerge. At first, the signs were subtle: strange sensations, fleeting shadows, unexplained sounds echoing through empty rooms. But with every session, the boundary between the living and the dead seemed to weaken. The house was no longer just a house. It had become a stage for something ancient, something watching from just beyond sight. And the first to step from that darkness was a child. The girl. The girl appeared without warning. No one could agree on exactly when they first saw her. Some claimed she emerged from a hallway. Others insisted she appeared standing silently at the top of the stairs. What they all agreed upon was the overwhelming sense of wrongness that followed her arrival. She looked no older than 7 years old. She wore a black dress, simple and old-fashioned, as though she belonged to another era. Yet her appearance refused to remain consistent. Witnesses described her face as unstable, almost unfinished. Her hair changed constantly. In one moment it was blonde, in the next brown. Sometimes it appeared tangled and long. Sometimes it was cropped short. On certain occasions, horrifyingly, she appeared to have no hair at all. It was as though reality itself could not decide what she was supposed to look like. Her form flickered and shifted like a damaged memory, struggling to reconstruct itself. Whenever someone attempted to focus on her features, they seemed to blur and rearrange. Looking directly at her never provided clarity. Instead, it created confusion. The longer they stared, the less certain they became of what they had actually seen. Yet despite her disturbing appearance, she did not initially inspire terror. She inspired curiosity, and that curiosity would prove dangerous. By the fourth session, fear had begun to erode into familiarity. The group grew accustomed to her presence. What once sent chills racing down their spines slowly became part of the strange routine surrounding the investigations. They began chasing her through the house. What started as nervous attempts to observe her soon evolved into a bizarre game. Members of the group would catch glimpses of the girl disappearing around corners or standing briefly in darkened hallways. Rather than retreating, they followed. Sometimes she seemed to lead them. Sometimes she vanished the moment they approached. Other times, she lingered just long enough to make them believe they might finally catch her. Looking back, we would question those moments endlessly. Had they truly been interacting with a lost child? Or had they mistaken something far more sinister for innocence? One memory haunted him more than any other. A sudden tug at his shirt in the darkness. Not a gentle touch, not an accident. A desperate, clawing motion. Even years later, Carlos could not shake the suspicion that whatever had grabbed him that night was not the girl at all. Something else had been lurking behind her shifting face. Something waiting. The fat man. And the atmosphere changed. The playful curiosity surrounding the girl vanished almost overnight. The warning came not through sight, but through smell. A foul odor began spreading through the house. At first, It was faint, little more than a trace lingering in certain rooms. But with each passing session, it intensified until it became impossible to ignore. Witnesses described it as the stench of rotten meat left beneath a summer sun. It seeped into walls, into furniture, into clothing. The smell seemed to arrive before the entity itself. And then came the footsteps, and heavy, slow, deliberate. Each step echoed through the house with startling force. They sounded less like footsteps and more like impacts. The floorboards groaned beneath an invisible weight, moving through the darkness. Many described this sensation as being washed by an enraged father, not merely angry, furious. The emotional pressure surrounding the entity was overwhelming. Even before he appeared, people felt fear tightening around their chests. When the fat man finally manifested, the group's confidence shattered. He was grotesque, a towering figure with an exposed torso that appeared swollen and damaged. Witnesses compared his flesh to melted plastic left to decay in a grave. Parts of him seemed warped and corroded, as though his body had been subjected to unimaginable suffering. The encounter shattered her faith in rational explanations. Unable to endure the mounting dread, she left and never returned. The fat man left something behind. Even after he vanished, many claimed his odor lingered for days, as if the house itself had absorbed part of him, the family. The final horror of this phase arrived through an object that seemed harmless. A tea set, more than a century old, delicate, ordinary, yet somehow connected to a presence unlike anything encountered before. Soon after its arrival, sightings began, not of a single entity, but several. The group referred to them simply as the family. They appeared together and vanished together. Witnesses described their manifestations as resembling a slow, flickering flash of light. Their forms would emerge briefly from darkness before dissolving again into nothingness. They rarely moved, rarely spoke. Instead, they stood silently and stared, watching, waiting. Their appearances were brief but unforgettable. Each encounter left behind an oppressive feeling that lingered long after they disappeared. Yet over time, something changed. One member of the family began staying longer than the others. The mother. Unlike the rest, she seemed unwilling to leave. Her appearances grew increasingly frequent. Hallways became her preferred domain. Witnesses reported sensing her presence long before they actually saw her. A feeling of being followed, of being observed from just beyond peripheral vision. Even those who knew nothing about the investigations sensed something was wrong. Young Maria became one of the most troubling examples. Night after night, she woke to a terrifying sensation. Her mattress would slowly sink beside her, not suddenly, not violently, slowly, as though someone invisible had chosen to sit on the edge of her bed. The pressure was unmistakable. The weight was real. Yet whenever she looked, no one was there. The entity eventually became associated with a figure the group referred to as Cleta, an ant-like presence whose connection to the family remained unclear. Unlike many apparitions that appeared briefly before fading away, Cleta endured. For 8 long years she remained tied to the house. 8 years of sightings, 8 years of unexplained encounters, 8 years of living alongside something that refused to leave. This was only the beginning of obsession. The discovery was not a triumph. It was a trap. Every encounter pulled them deeper into a mystery that seemed determined to consume them. What began as investigation slowly became entanglement. The house was no longer revealing secrets, it was creating new ones. The group started to fracture. Fear replaced excitement. Questions multiplied, while answers remained frustratingly out of reach. And with every passing year, the shadows inside the house seemed to grow darker. They realized, too late, that some doors, once open, can never be shut. Join me next time as we descend even deeper into the darkness surrounding Kman and the forces that haunted his life. I am Phantom Detective, and this is the darkest secret.